Welcome to week 6 of the advanced full distance training plan from Scientific Triathlon. I hope your training is going well and that you're enjoying it so far, having lots of fun. This week we're going to have even more fun because more training equals more fun, doesn't it? Volume this week it goes up to 16 hours 40 from 15:25 last week. And the range here, depending on whether you do optional workouts, whether you shorten or extend some workouts, is that you will end up between 14 hours 45 and 17 hours 50. As always, remember that you should take advantage of this adjustability in duration, in volume, and make it fit what you're used to and what you can manage and can handle. Also, this is the final week where we progress volume and also progress intensity before next week will be an easier deload week. If this week, since we're in the third week of a solid build block, so to say, you're feeling tired, you're feeling that you're accumulating quite a lot of fatigue, then definitely consider doing things like skipping the Friday easy ride, for example, getting the afternoon and evening off. Try to put up your feet if you can, and get some extra rest and some TV time perhaps to just chill out. That could be a good option. But of course, you are well aware that you are expected to feel a bit tired at this point in the program. That's totally fine. I think the main thing is to just keep reminding yourself of practicing great intensity discipline. So don't do anything harder than the plan asks for. Even if you're getting fitter, that doesn't mean that your endurance workouts or easy workouts should be getting faster or harder. They should just be getting easier, and then make sure that you can recover day to day and also have a lot of energy for those interval workouts, the hard and challenging workouts. One thing that I want to mention, if you enter one of those key workouts or one of those, not key workouts, one of those hard workouts, interval workouts, for example, very tired, then practice the 20-minute rule. That's a great tool to have in your toolbox. And that means essentially to do 20 minutes of warming up and a little bit of a main set before deciding what to do with the rest of the workout. And in the example of this Tuesday ride, for example, we actually have a 33-minute warm-up, I believe. Yes, that is correct. So if I was in a situation where it's Tuesday, I'm going to do my bike ride, and I'm feeling quite tired and fatigued, and I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do it, then I might decide that, okay, I'm just going to do 18 minutes of warm-up, and then I'm going to go into a 2-minute set at my target power here, 105 to 110%. So I'll do 80 minutes of warm-up, include a couple of the builds, then 2 minutes at the target power for the main set, and get into some recovery, 2-3 minutes of recovery, and then do another 2 minutes of that first interval. So I would basically split it up into 2 shorter intervals. And then, only then will I assess or decide what to do with the rest of the workout. Quite often you can find that, okay, the first interval, it feels quite tough and it doesn't feel fun at all. You're not liking it. But then the second one, you suddenly feel quite a lot better and you think that, okay, this is going in the right direction. And what happens is usually that you start to actually feel a lot better in that session, and it ends up being a good session. So you can just do the workout as prescribed. So then from there on, I would go on and do the 4-minute intervals, 3-minute recoveries as planned. And only do 5 of them because I had already done essentially 1 of them, even if it was a broken interval. Then the other thing that can happen is that you feel all right, but you don't feel quite there. So you decide that you can modify the workout a little bit. So in this case, instead of doing the final 5 times 4 minutes, I might do 10 times 2 minutes, which would be slightly easier, but I would still get in the same amount of time at intensity and time in zone and all of that. A third option, if you really feel that, okay, yeah, I didn't feel that much better the second time, maybe a little bit, but I don't think that I'm really going to respond well to a lot of intensity today. The option then is to simply do the workout, do the duration of the workout, 1 hour 15 minutes in this example, but do all of that as endurance riding or easy riding. And then the final option, of course, if you really feel very fatigued, is to skip the workout, and it is something that you should have as a serious option. Some athletes will never skip a workout, and that is not smart training to be so inflexible that you can never skip a workout. You need to have some flexibility to you, because at the end of the day, no single workout is important or unimportant. It's the sum total of training that you do over weeks or months, more likely, and years, that really matters. So when you take a decision, or when you consider something that you might change or might not change, consider it from the point of view, how will this impact the sum total of all the work I will do before my key race? And if you're honest with yourself, sometimes if you're very fatigued and you do the 20-minute rule, follow the 20-minute rule, but you still feel that, okay, intensity is not the right thing for me to do, and actually I don't feel like riding at all, maybe I should skip it. And then just answer the question from the perspective of, will skipping the workout be the best choice from me for long term? Like, will that allow me to do the most amount of training, the most amount of sum total training before the race, and the best, including with the best quality? And quite often the answer is yes, because you don't risk putting yourself in the hole, in a hole of too much training and over fatigue and having to take longer time off. So yeah, just be mindful, have that as an option, and know that it's a very common trap to fall into, to not be flexible enough with yourself. A training program is a tool for a better self-coaching, but you're still your own self-coach. So I talk a lot about how 90% compliance with a training plan is really a gold standard to shoot for, but I don't think 100% is. I mean, it might happen in some cases, but that's very few cases, and it might be a sign of too much rigidity, whereas 90 to 95% is a sign of somebody who's very disciplined and can follow through with a program, but also has some amount of flexibility to them, which is a good thing. All right, so some workout highlights for this week. Just to quickly point out that in the swim VO2 max workout, we progressed from 50s to now doing 4x100, 6x75, and 8x50. And in particular in the 100s, but also the 75s, be aware that it's very common to just smash out a 100 all-out effort at first and then not reach as good a quality for the rest of the workout. So of course these are very fast efforts, but you need to pace yourself a little bit, because otherwise your overall workout quality will suffer. Then just a reminder that if you are really serious about improving your swim, then swim as much as possible and do the additional sets once per week. So in this, just on this Friday swim, you would get another 800 meters or yards of swimming with 400 meters or yards of threshold swimming. So that's a good amount of additional swimming to get in. And since you're already changed and in the pool, I mean, why not? Then the other highlight is the open water swim, or open water skills swim. So we have two options here, and one is to do it in the open water, and you can find the description here. But then the other option is to do it in the pool, where if you do that, you can use a wetsuit, or if you don't want to use your wetsuit for some reason, I recommend using your wetsuit. But as an option, you could be using neoprene shorts, buoyancy shorts. It is a slightly different swim, but both of these swims will have you practice plenty of open water skills. And that is super important. So this is not an optional swim, if you thought that. But that being said, if Saturday is not a good day for you to swim, then you can always move it to another day. Maybe you can swap it with a run on Tuesday. That would be an option. Or you could put it on Thursday if you have a lot of time on Thursday. That's another option. So yeah, that's about it. Other than that, most workouts stay the same, maybe with some light progressions. For example, the VO2 max intervals progress from 20 minutes of work to 23 minutes of work on the run. And on the bike, we progress from 6 times 3.5 minutes to 6 times 4 minutes. But that's about it. Keep enjoying your training this week. Good luck. Keep focusing on that intensity discipline, and I'll talk to you next week.